I don't know if you guys remember this one, but there was a shooting in Texas, and at the time we went over it, we watched the video and all that kind of fun stuff, and couldn't really make heads or tails of the situation. So to me, it kind of looked like it was a self-defense claim where you had a guy who came over, he started yelling, he wouldn't get off of a man's property. Remember, this was all in Texas, by the way. It was Chad Reed and Kyle Carruth. Kyle Carruth, it was his home, it was his domicile, and Chad Reed came over. He started to get all spastic. One thing leads to another. Kyle ends up shooting him twice in the chest, killing Chad Reed. Watched the situation, looked at the different aspects of this. It's like, okay, Texas self-defense law includes defending your home as well as your person. So you are allowed to use deadly force in order to facilitate that pursuit of safety and security. So it's like, okay, I guess it's probably for a court to decide, or in this case, a grand jury to decide if there are going to be charges in this. And then, yes, late Thursday, this decision came down. Gun-wielding Texas man who shot dead his partner's ex-husband during furious child custody row will not be charged after shooting is ruled to be in self-defense. Sucks. It's a really shitty situation that somebody's father is dead in this one, but it's also a win for, Texas self-defense law that show up in Texas and you try to do some fuck shit with somebody who has a gun, you're going to end up paying the consequences. Now, it's an untenable situation because that eventually there will be a motivated judge in order to repeal or at least undermine the laws that are on the books. So kind of fighting against the clock on this one. So this one at least forestalls that for a minute. And there's enough people in Texas still right now, as fucked up as Austin and some of the larger cities have become recently. There's still enough people in Texas to make sure that shall not be infringed. Texas man who shot dead his girlfriend's ex-husband. Wow. Former couple argued over child custody will not face criminal charges because the shooting was in self-defense, the Texas Attorney General announced. Kyle Carruth, I guess his real name is Bill Carruth. 39, opened fire on Chad Reed, 54, after the two squared up against each other and wrestled over the gun in Lubbock on November 5th. Yeah, this was a while back, if you do recall. On Thursday, Attorney General Ken Paxton and his wonky fucking eye. Ken's a good guy, but still, he's got that one eye on you, one eye on the door. Said the special grand jury had determined Carruth will not face charges because the argument unfolded on his property. There it is. And the shooting was in self-defense. Yeah, that's what I seen when we watched it. If you go back and take a look, I'll probably link the video because that would make sense. So it's going to be, the first or second iCard that pops up. So if you'd like a refresher course on that, I won't keep everybody because that video was like half an hour long because we went through just about everything on it. And it's like, I'm pretty sure my opinion at the time, or at least the way that it's unfolded after I've thought about it more, is it was probably self-defense. He could have been charged by firing the one warning shot into the ground as reckless discharge, but you start fighting over the situation and you got a guy who's got 50 pounds on Kyle and he's about 6 inches taller than him. There's a reason to believe that there were going to be some fists thrown because he was also yelling, "You better fucking kill me," or whatever the extent of the altercation was, is "You better fucking shoot me." So there was a reasonable degree of certainty that he was going to get his ass kicked. If he could have fought back, we don't really know. This is the way that it unfolded. Apparently in Texas, it is okay to bring a gun out to a verbal altercation and murder the ex. The special grand jury was just for show, reads widow Jennifer. Well, he should have left after he was told, fucking get out, leave the property. And I understand that this was a child custody gimmick, and the amount of information that came out after that is a little bit incomprehensible because I'm not really aware of most of it. It was supposed to be Chad coming up to pick his kid from the house, but then the kid was at his grandmother's house or something like that. Maybe that was supposed to be the place where he was supposed to pick him up. So a lot of the details didn't really come out, and the grand jury would have been able to weigh all of this stuff and then look at the video as well from the two different angles and determine that yes, in fact, it was more than a verbal altercation because Chad wouldn't fucking leave and Kyle gave him ample opportunity to fucking go before any shots flew. I don't know of one other person that testified for Chad besides me and his mom. Well, maybe that tells you a little bit about the character of Chad. And there's not a lot of people that are germane to this situation, because there were 4 people that were there. Jennifer, the boyfriend of Chad Reed, or his new wife, whatever, she was the one videotaping where you got the best footage there as well, and she was the one who was, filming it from there. You had the mother of the kid, Chad's ex, and then you had Kyle, and then you had Chad himself. So there's really 4 people that are there. I don't know how many other people could come out. Maybe some of the neighbors, if they were home. This was also during the middle of the day when other people, because Chad or somebody worked in the home as well, so it was still a domicile, even though they were outside. Texas law, even your front porch is still considered your home, therefore defensible by Texas law. So how many other people are relevant to the situation? Not really all that much. You're just looking for character, and Chad was kind of a hothead. He was the one who was yelling, screaming, being relatively unreasonable, so you can kind of see why it was just you and his mom talking good about him. They didn't like being inundated with calls, and did this to say that they did it, but I guarantee that they weren't there for Chad Reed. She wrote on Facebook, some rambling bitch. Okay, that's nice. The argument leading up to the shooting centered around custody dispute over the children of Chad Reed and his ex-wife Christina, who was dating Carruth. Following the tragic events, Jennifer Reed released footage showing the moment her husband was shot and killed by Carruth. The disturbing video. Chad Reed can be heard demanding to see his 9-year-old son outside of Carruth's home before he was shot dead. Kid wasn't there, and they were rubbing up against one another. It happens, and Chad was, on his porch. Okay, Kyle fires at the ground to get him to leave. And then, right after that, Chad throws Kyle. That leads to that, third image that's there. That's them yelling at one another after Kyle goes into the house, gets the gun, that fires a warning shot, and then Chad tries to grab at the gun, throws him off, and then, because fists are going to start flying. At best, at worst, Chad goes into the house, tries to find his kid, won't leave, it takes a minute to get there, maybe he causes a whole bunch of fucking damage. All of these are hypothetical, of course, because we know what actually happened as opposed to hypothetically what could happen. Carruth, the ex-husband of 72nd District Court Judge Anne Marie Carruth, was never arrested. Yeah, exactly. Because, like the grand jury just found out, it was very much self-defense. His lawyer argued the shooting was justifiable homicide and carried out in self-defense. Yup. Jennifer Reed will pursue a legal action in civil court where her $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against Carruth can now resume following the results of the criminal investigation. Good luck trying to collect on any of that. After Reed's death, a Lubbock County District Attorney's Office recused itself from the investigation. Does that make sense? Kind of does. The DA did not allow her office to take the case and cited Judge Carruth for its reasoning, according to Lubbock Avalanche Journal. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Investigators turned their findings over to Texas Attorney General's office, which handled the prosecution related to the case. And because it's Ken Paxton's office, they're going to look at every single available law that's on the book and come to a lawful decision. And that's what they did here. Well, once assembling the grand jury, giving them the evidence, and then being like, it looks like self-defense to me. After several days of thorough inspection of the evidence, we won't know what the scope and the specter of the evidence is, but they looked at the evidence, the relevant evidence that's there. So that's how they came to their conclusion. The special grand jury concluded their investigation into the matter and deliberated on whether the evidence supported the filing of criminal charges against Kyle Carruth. The special grand jury voted today not to indict any criminal charges against Carruth. Judge Carruth, Cruella DeVille here, cute, but that haircut's retarded. The hair dyeing is retarded, sorry. Who lost her bid for re-election in March, will be in office until December, divorced Kyle shortly after the shooting. Wait, what? Oh man, so this guy's just got a fucking self-defense shooting on his conscience, and he even lost his second-hand woman? Oh, that's tough. But hey, you do have a sellable quality that you will stand up for those in your possession. So, And women like a bad boy. Come on now. An affidavit in their ongoing divorce battle says that she had been notified that my husband is under investigation for the shooting and killing of his girlfriend's children's father after he attempted to pick up his children. That's as convoluted as it gets. Criminal justice system utterly failed. Jennifer Reed, the widow of Chad Reed, Jennifer's attorney, said after the AG statement, I don't think so. It looks like they went through all the proper channels and found out that maybe Chad shouldn't have been such a hothead. Her attorney argued that Chad was involved in a heated discussion with Christina and Kyle interjected himself into the discussion. We believe that there is no legitimate reason for Kyle to bring a deadly weapon into an argument that he wasn't even a part of. Chad Reed died unarmed, shot and killed, and simply trying to determine the whereabouts of his son. Yeah, that was all definitely what it was. It wasn't Chad instigating the situation, being told to leave the property, and then, yeah, Kyle came out trying to enforce the sovereignty of his property. Chad went into full blue pill rage and, yeah, ended up paying the price for it. So can't really say I feel bad for him. Then again, you're not really excited to see anybody dead about the situation, but hey, stand your ground, and castle doctrine continues to be maintained in good places like Texas. Moral of the story is keep your head about yourself, and then you won't get too in the chest. How about that? With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.